Hello there. Today I just want us to look at one of the interesting topics, and in this case, I'm going to talk about the fear of the exams amongst the students or the pupils. In most cases, when it is time for students or pupils to go and write the exams, they are always having that fear in them. They always have a lot of thoughts, but do we know the reason why? And also, do we also have solutions to those questions or fears that the students develop when they are about to go and write their exams? Today I had a chance to chat with some of the students and also a certain teacher who helped me do this interview, where the students themselves had to bring out tangible ways or ways on how to handle the fear of the exams in both the test and also the final exams. So let's hear what these students had to say during the discussions and also during this interview.
Okay, so we can we'll look at why most students develop or have exam phobia prior to or during exam. And now that we'll have our own exam next week, no, tomorrow Wednesday, the beginning of the history. So it's very important that we look at how to deal with exam phobia. Let me begin by asking simple questions. Have you ever felt that phobia during the exam or before the exam? If you did, what really caused that? So I'll begin maybe from my boy there. Have you ever felt that with that exam phobia? If you did, what really caused that?
Number one, what really caused that was because of fear. Being afraid of failing. Yeah, because we know that if we actually fail, it will be hard for us to sustain maybe to in college. So mostly we are afraid of failing because we know maybe our sponsorship will be broken, or maybe our parents will be upset with us. That's the most reason why, according to myself, I developed exams.
Okay, good.
Sometimes due to inadequate preparation.
Okay.
So as a result, I develop an examination phobia. And sometimes it's because of the tests that our teachers have trained us to be answering. For instance, when I'm writing an English test or physics, I know that for me to write physics and pass, I need to put in so much hard work because the teacher brings in too much tough questions for me to answer. Therefore, that sometimes gives me a question. Either the exam will be harder than what my teacher has been teaching me. If that, then that makes me even sick. And if it happens that maybe the exam comes simple compared to the way I expected it, then I get excited at the end of the day. That's the reason.
Okay. So at least we have agreed that we do experience exam phobia. Okay, we all agree. Okay. Is it normal to just have that exam phobia, or there are some students who never experienced that? Is it just normal? Can we conclude and say to develop exam phobia is just something that is just normal? What I'm saying, is it just okay to develop that phobia? Felix, is it just normal to develop that phobia?
I think it is normal and it's also abnormal. Like when I say it is normal to have phobia, yeah, like when I say it is normal to have a phobia, because since when you are preparing for something, you no matter how you prepare for it, but you still have a certain feel like okay, I know if I prepare, the certain thing should be hard for me. So for you, since you know it in your mind, like okay, the certain stuff, then that will cause that to be like, you'll be afraid like, what but if I come across that same question, which will be hard for me. And then, so to the bad part, the disadvantage part when you have a phobia, you look forward. But sometimes you try to study, but because you're that phobia, instead of you studying, you'll be more like focusing on thinking what shall happen, what shall be done to me, what will happen, what am I going to do, and then hence you concentrate more time on focusing on thinking instead of studying. Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, according to me, it's normal to have exam problem. Because when the teachers are teaching, not everything you can understand in that particular subject. So, if not, for example, me, I don't understand the topic in physics whereby of focal points. I don't understand it very well. So, I think about it and say, what about if it came in an exam and then I don't understand it? So, it's found that we have that phobia because it's not everything that you can understand in different subjects.
Okay. So in other ways, now I want to correct me here. He has mentioned of certain topics that he does not understand, and maybe he has to say in case such a topic comes, how am I going to handle it? Okay. So are you saying we are afraid of the way the exam is set, or we are afraid that the examiners will put certain things that is not yet laid? What exactly are we afraid of? Are we afraid of the way the exam is set, or we feel there will be some questions, or as teachers we do add certain things that we do not teach? In other words, we are trying to trick you. Are you afraid of the way the exam is set, or you feel I'll find things that I don't know? Then you develop that for what is it that exactly you're afraid of?
Like, according to me, my understanding, yeah, I'm afraid of how the exam is being said. Since, like, we come, like, in schools, we understand the teachers and how they bring questions and how they phrase them. We know how they phrase them, but the people who prepare the exam, they don't know us, they don't know our performance, they don't know how we understand stuff, and we haven't made some of them, so how they prepare will be different to what I may understand certain things.
Okay. Yes.
For me, like what Felix has said, the way Mr. Sky prepares work, it's different from how another examiner prepares work. So I understand that Mr. Sky likes to bring such questions, maybe questions on acceleration, but it's different from the examiner. So when I'm studying, I study those things he likes to bring, but for the exam, it's different because we don't know how those people are, the examiner.
Oh.
I think sometimes it's because we just like exposure to some aspects.
Okay.
And so that's the reason why we do that examination. Because in an examination, we always know, for example, in physics, questions follow each other. Let's say the question builds on the other one. The second question always builds on the first question. So, for instance, if you don't understand a topic properly, that affects your performance and your answers. That is also in mathematics, I would say. So that gives really us phobia.
I've mentioned something very, very important here. The two gentlemen have talked about, of course, a very good reason. Not knowing exactly, these guys prepare exams. We don't know them. Oh, we know it's just Kyrene, they will prepare questions. They don't know us, so we are afraid of how they are going to prepare questions. She has mentioned the lack of exposure to past papers. Do you know that if only you are baptized, if you go through the past papers, you will definitely know how the exam comes. You even know the type of the person you'll be dealing with. By simply going through the past papers, you have an idea of the exam. Not necessarily trying to brush off your reasons, but those learners that have spent most of their time going through past papers from 20, let's say from 2004 to 2019, if you have gone through the mathematics paper 1 and 2, you eventually going to have an idea of this monster who prepares questions. You have an idea to say this is how the exam comes. However, to those of our students that have got no time go through class papers, they say now that teacher X has been giving us questions like this, we don't know how the exam comes. By the way, are you also aware that the way your teachers prepare questions, that's even how the exam also comes. It is in uniformity. The way the teacher of English gives you questions in English, it's exactly the way the exam comes. The only difference is just the topics, but the format is but the same. Now let's build up something again. I do also have phobia. Okay, it's just normal to have phobia. But it is abnormal. It is abnormal to fail backwards. Someone said so. If that phobia hinders everything, you feel you cannot do anything because you are afraid of the exam. You are afraid of the paper. You are talking about the paper here, paper like this. This is an exam. You are afraid of what is it A4 paper, isn't it? You are afraid of this white paper. You are afraid. A full human being afraid of 2 leaves of A4 paper. Such that you even develop simple science. Now, let's see how we're going to handle this. Now that tomorrow we're going to have an exam, how should we handle? How can we advise? How can we tell our friends to how they can deal with this exam? What should we do now? We have agreed that what phobia is caused by A, B, C, D, lack of studying. Okay, she has mentioned lack of studying. Hence, you're in an exam room. You'll be thinking, what about if they bring that and not study? You develop that stress and anxiety and phobia at the same time. What can we do to avoid all this? What should be the message to our friends out there? What should we do?
I guess people should study hard.
One, students should study hard. Okay, you have studied hard, the phobia is still there.
Control their emotions.
And number 2, let's not be afraid of failing.
Let us not be afraid of failing. By saying so, are we encouraging failing? Are we saying failing is good?
No.
But failing is part of the learning process. By the way, we learn from our own failures, not from our own successes. So we should always accept that failure is part of the learning process. So when you are in an exam, don't be afraid of failure. Okay? That is the point we have mentioned. Any other points? What? Yes.
The other thing is once one professor said, if you want to change the world, you need to change the way you think. So, like, if you have, yes, you may have a phobia, but you need to be prepared. You need to be ready for what you're going to find in an exam. Whatever you find is what has been prepared for you. So you need to be ready for that paper.
Yes.
What I can say, let us as pupils, let's learn to have a positive attitude towards learning, because some of us, the pupils, we have a negative attitude towards learning. Learning is short.
Okay.
Let's not be lazy.
You got what they said, eh? Let's have a positive attitude towards learning. Yes.
I think we should also be prepared adequately before the exams.
How should we prepare adequately? She has spoken. Senga, you've just come. She's saying we should adequately prepare ourselves for the exam. How?
I would say we should be thinking in all angles. Like, for example, what if they bring this question and then I didn't study about it? We should apply common sense. To say, yes, Like in terms like, for example, you don't know how to answer that question, at least you try to think, yeah,
Now let me also dive in what I said. Many of our pupils feel that the questions that will be brought in an exam are those topics that our teacher has taught us. We don't want to use common sense. Okay? You should always think of, in an exam, they might bring questions that teacher X did not teach. Prepare your mind for that. But if you go in an exam to say, what I find is what teacher X taught you, you'll be shocked. So, apply some common sense. Prepare your mind. In other words, study even things that teacher X did not teach. When you have that mind, in an exam, you will find that you prepare yourself. But those of us who just go and say, what teacher B is what I'm going to find. You open this paper. Question 1, you don't know it. Question 2, you don't know it. Question 12, you don't know it. Multiple choices, you all don't know all of them. You go out and say, teacher X lied to us. You never taught. So, apply some common sense. Study even things that we did not even teach. By so doing, you are adequately preparing yourself for the exam. So study beyond what you have read in class. Study beyond. Okay, another?
I think
Yeah.
under adequate preparation, you study things in order to know them, you should not master them. Because if you master them, it will be very hard to forget an item on that thing that you've mastered. So you should study in a manner that when you are studying, visualize what you are studying.
Okay.
An example is when you are studying, let's take it for example, let's do comments, we take it comments under production, and we talk about specialization as a topic. Let that person see different people working on the same thing but doing different stuffs in order to perfect a product. So I think that's one reason why we develop a phobia. It's because when we study, we only study to master, not to know.
Okay. That's a very good concept. Now, on the first page where we say adequate preparation, I think we need to familiarize ourselves with the place where the exam is taking place. Reach the exam place on time. Many students want to reach there very late. That one also causes them to panic in an exam. So familiarize yourself with the environment. Reach the place of an exam 13 days before or 1 hour before. Move around. Rather than you only reach there 5 minutes after the exam, you go direct to an exam. That one also causes learners to fail and also causes them to panic, to have that fear and phobia. Familiarize yourself with the place. Reach there in good time or at a good time. So actually, okay. So another reason ways on how we can avoid how we can just deal with this problem. Example. What else should we do? What else should we tell our friends?
Maybe I can say this, if maybe there's such a person who haven't studied, who haven't been studying, haven't been going through the books, past papers, I might say it's never too late to such a one, because even you can, even if you have like a week, you can still go through and understand one or two, which may help you on tackling those questions. And then also the other thing is just to remove fear from the exam and how to prepare, just to go there with a free mind, not to the mindset of I'm going to find the beast waiting for me. No, you go there with the okay, I'm going to find the paper which I've prepared for.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would say is going through past papers. Just like you said, getting familiar with the place. Now, you should get familiar with past papers, meaning you also know how questions will be phrased, and you will not be afraid. And then the other thing that I have discovered to most learners is that when they hear just the word exam, they think it's a big thing. They think it's a big thing instead of them taking an exam just like any other test they've written before. Then they tend to think that exam. That's the word itself. It seems like this thing is so hard, it's so tough. I need more time. So I would encourage learners to just take an exam just like any other test. Yeah.
Okay, I like the theme of unit. Whenever you hear of the 12 exam, to you it's a defeat already. Okay? The word itself defeats you. Okay? So we're looking at ways on how you can you have one.
Like just the other thing is, you might find maybe like, for example, I didn't have access to past papers. As students, we shouldn't be, like just be in a certain box where you can't go out. We also need to ask our friends what they have. Maybe someone might have materials which I don't have. I need to ask in order for me to be familiar with those materials. We shouldn't be less that. Since I don't have, I'll be content with what I have. Yes, it's just good to be content with what you have, but also it's good to go beyond the box that you know now.
Okay, so we are looked at. I hope we have exhausted on ways on how we can deal with exam phobia, stress, anxiety, it's one and the same thing.
But I think the last thing is we should be careful what we hear from people concerning the exam. Because people have different views about the exam. And therefore, if you take each and every opinion that a person brings to you, then that will also affect you. When you hear a lot of people saying, no, you fail, or exam is hard, the exams are hard, the exams are hard, so that will stick in your brain. And then at the end of the day, you have no control over the phobia that you have, because you have accumulated a lot of wrong ideas concerning the exams from people. So that is one way we can also reduce on the instances or incidences of examination fever.
Just like you go in an exam and you are already, in your mind, you put subjects that are too difficult. For example, you say, tomorrow is mathematics. This subject is just too hard. Already the mind is defeated because of saying like what I just talked about. You go in an exam and then you say, today is simple, today is simple. But tomorrow there is science. This subject, I fear it. This subject is just too hard. What is going to not developing phobia? You will develop that. So we tell learners, our friends, not to have this notion of saying the exam is hard, this subject is hard. Let's remove those notions. Let's remove those ideologies of saying this is hard, this is simple, this is hard, the exam is hard. Okay, yeah.
The question for
You have a question? Go ahead.
I had a discussion one day with a friend, and it was an argument actually. He told me that most of the time the people during the design exam gets below 340. Gets below 340 marks.
Okay.
Yeah, scores. So during the Mikoto exam, it's not possible that he or she can get 15 points and below. So can you please clarify on that? Is that true?
Is that true? So I didn't get the question quite clear.
It says that during the grade 9 exam, we write our exam, 5 exams, we score 340 marks and below. Most people say that during the grade 12 exam, it's not possible that that person can get 15 points and below.
Or if you got 340 in grade 9 and below, such pupils will never get 15 points and below during the grade 12 exam. Oh, that's interesting.
I think on that one, I may say that it's a two-way thing, and also it depends with the person abilities in terms of studying and preparation. So it all calls for preparations. If a person will still stick to what that person said, of course, it will be difficult for them to get good grades at grade 12. But if they want to prove to that person that they can do it like any other person, it's very simple and very possible for them to get even 6 points. So it all calls for somebody to utilize the opportunities of studying hard. So I think I think that's what I can say about it. And in conclusion, I would love to state that I would like to thank everybody who has submitted their opinions and everything. Otherwise, we had a fruitful discussion or interview. Thank you very much for having each other. Until next time.